Good evening and welcome. Thank you very much for joining on such short notice and for such surprising bonus stream. As I wrote in Discord, I wrote surprise bonus stream to celebrate. I ran away from the cult. So we're playing some Dyson Sphere program because I thought, you know what, I'm home. I can just make it, although 1 hour too late. But you know, I thought there might be a few people who would appreciate a bonus surprise stream. So here I am. And I will. Knowledge better than no stream at all. Thank you. Right. So what I'll do is I will be talking a little bit about what it was, what it wasn't, why I ran away, and I'll keep it PG-13, and then we won't talk more about that. So if anyone comes in later, then I would encourage any moderators to go like, hey, watch the start of the VOD, then you can see the explanation. Instead of me going sort of, oh yeah, well, actually. This also means there will be a few more streams this week than anticipated. I don't exactly know when, what, why, because I just got in the door right before I started the countdown, so haven't really figured out. But yeah, I'm back. I'll be going out and doing something some other days, but not sort of replacing one full week plan with some other full week plans. So, context, I was going on a Tantra massage education module as part of a 3-year course. This was the second of 9 modules, each 1 week in duration. And obviously I stopped since I'm here now. It was supposed to be Saturday to Saturday, and I couldn't join Saturday because I had to take my daughter to ballet at the Royal Theatre on Sunday morning. And so I had joined Sunday afternoon. So I've been there for 2 days and then I left. So why did I leave? There were a number of things that were wrong for me, but there were also some general themes. There were some specific instances that I didn't like, and there were some general themes. The overall theme that was sort of was it second after when you didn't like because lots of energy point stuff, I guess that means. Yeah, it was very spiritual, the first one, and that is. But I decided to give it another chance because I'll learn something anyway, and it'll still be interesting. But everything was just cranked up a notch from last time. Everything, as I said to a friend that I talked to this morning, everything was just took a few steps up the crazy ladder, and that was a little more than I could cope with. But overall, there was one incident here at the end. That was the one where I go like, okay, this is not for me. Which was kind of the symptom of the whole setting, and why there was like a symptom of, okay, this is not working. So Tantra massage is about massage. Tantra massage education should be about Tantra massage education in giving a Tantra massage. But I found that there were not enough massage part and too much fluff. And the fluff is the spiritual stuff and the lectures and stuff like that. Yeah, the lectures on anatomy, that makes sense, that's good. But there are also lectures on all sorts of other things and a lot of yoga and a lot of other stuff. But the incident today that was sort of crystallizing the epitome of this was we had been doing some practicing on some specific spots to activate energy. All good and well, and then we were sort of taking a 10-minute break, and then we're going to do the actual massage in a session. So first do 1 hour one way, and then swap, and then do 1 hour the other way. All good. So we come back after the 10-minute break, and we settle in, and we're ready to get started. Except we first have to consecrate, and you don't know what consecrate is, but that's basically casting a blessing spell. And there was like every single lecture started with a consecration, where it's like, oh, we sacrifice the fruits of this lecture to the godly power of universal love and consciousness. And then we had to sit quietly for 5 minutes and just sort of, I don't know, consecrate, pray and stuff. And that's a little bit too much for me. But I endured. But this one was like, okay, so we did that for the sort of the session. And then we were told, okay, so now turn to your partner and then you will consecrate the massage. And we're like, it's okay, that's a step. Okay. All right. Sitting there again, another 5 minutes of silence and sitting there like, I've been sitting for 10 minutes, just not doing anything, ready to get started on the massage. Like, okay, finally. Okay, this is good. Okay, now we can get started. Something. Okay, now let's do a short meditation on the law of offering, which is like a principle of how to be in the right state of mind. Like, okay, could not have been part of the other. Never mind. Never mind. We'll just do it. We'll just do that. All right. This is me thinking. All right. Start the music, and we sit, which is like heavy, kind of techno rhythms. Like, why? What is the weird meditation to this? But okay, sitting there, I got like, then I'm getting really tired of this because now I'm sitting here for 12 minutes and it's still not. And so I'm at this point just listening more to the music and go like, okay, this sounds like this is like the middle and this is the chorus and then goes like a sort of interlude and then okay, so now it must be it's okay, it's sort of winding down. All right, so we can get started. And it's done. And the next number starts. I'm like, okay, so two. Oh my god, I'm getting tired. My legs are getting tired. I'm just gonna take a peek and see if what everyone else is doing. And everyone else was just sitting there quietly contemplating. Like, oh, and then this number ends, and then another one starts. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? So in the end, three numbers. That's another 10 minutes. So by now we've been sitting there in cross-legged in lotus position for 20 fucking minutes, ready to get started on the massage. And then finally it's time, and I'm no longer in the best of sort of, it's not like I've had elevated state of mind. I got that after the first 30 seconds, and then it's been a struggle since then to sort of keep up my mood, and I'm sore everywhere from just sitting cross-legged like that. Hey Scorch, thank you for the 26 months. Welcome home. Thank you very much. And so we finally get started, and then I settle down with my partner and we get started, and then we sort of it was supposed to be a short massage, so we have to get on with the specific area that we are focusing on here. So the instructor has his own another assistant that he's showing, so we can sort of mimic that, and so we have to follow his rhythm. And he goes like, all right, let's spread some oil, and it's really quick. And I try to do the same thing as quick, and I don't like it because it's way too quick. And I'm like, we've been spending 20 minutes not doing anything, and then we're suddenly in a rush to get this really important part, the first touch, the connection, the physical connection with the receiver. Now that has to be rushed, and that just really pissed me off. And so I don't do a good job, and I'm too rushed. And the client, my partner, she gets agitated about it because she loses focus because it's too fast. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I try to keep up, but I'm really sorry. And you know, the connection is broken, and we try to reestablish it, but it doesn't really work. And we end up having a subpar massage for an hour, and then we're supposed to switch. And I'm like, sorry, I can't do this. I'm not in the right state of mind. So I leave. And we go out and we talk, and she tell her to go back in and find someone else. And for me, yeah, there was one episode and you could easily come back from that. But for me, this was the essence of what was wrong with this education, was like, you spend 20 fucking minutes and then you don't have time to do the important thing. We spent 20 minutes with our eyes closed, sitting in lotus position, staring into the nothingness, thinking big thoughts. And then we end up being so rushed that we can't do the fucking massage properly. That's why I'm here. I'm here for the massage. I'm not, I could sit at home staring into the blank void of nothingness all day. I could do that. I'm not gonna, but I could. But I can't give a massage without a willing partner. And now we have a willing partner, and then we sit here staring into nothingness for 20 minutes. And that pissed me off. And it's been like that the whole thing. The whole thing has been way too much fluff around it. And there's also, after a massage, there's a thing called sublimation, which you don't know what is, but that is basically when you activate all of your sexual erotic energy, it kind of gets stuck down there. So you need to move it to the rest of the body. Fair enough, good point. But the way it's done is with weird yoga poses. And for me, if you are sharing an intimate massage with someone, I want to afterwards spend the time with aftercare, lying next to them and maybe talking quietly about the experience and holding and feeling the sensation in the body and being sort of melted together and feel that intimacy. But here it was like, oh, right, wipe off the oil, get up and stand on your head. What? Looking around and everyone's like upside down and with the legs up in the air. And I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck? And I'm the only one who thinks this is weird. Vox Tyrannus, thank you for subscription for 5 months. And I'm like, I can't do this. This was not the last session, but it was one of the other sessions where I was like, I can't do this. This is not for me the right way to end up a massage. You end it nice, quiet, feel your energy in the body and the experience and savoring it and sharing the moment of intimacy with your partner, not standing upside down or bending over or stretching or having your arms and legs in all sides and weird yoga poses that I can't do, by the way. I'm like, wow, this, so, and that's for half an hour. It's not like 2 minutes. This is half an hour. So in the end, you're like 20 minutes of staring into the void and 30 minutes of standing upside down, wrapped around the massage, which then gets compressed so you don't have enough time for it. Like, yeah, this is not the right education for me. This seems like all the packaging and not really enough of the content. And there were 4 massages in a week of education, and the education cost $2,500. So it's not exactly cheap. So you get 4 massages. That means you give 2 massages and you get 2 massages. I'm like, that's not enough. And of course, because for them, it's like, no, this is just part of it. But you also need to learn about the anatomy and the meridians, the Chinese traditional medicine, and you need to know about horoscopes and how to cure corona. And oh yeah, the worst one. Men should drink menstrual blood because it's healthy. I was as much shocked as you are. That was just are you fucking kidding me? And I looked around and everyone's like, let me take note of that. Yeah, yes, that is healthy. It's like, you can do your kinks, but don't you fucking put it into an education about giving a tantra massage. That's yet your. Whew. It was. Hey, thank you, Summer God. Bloodborne disease are dangerous. I know. And I was like, I mean, they weren't saying it as we are going to do it now, but they were sort of saying like, oh, if you're in intimate relations with someone, that's really something you should explore. And I'm like, nope, not going to do that. And I also told that's one of the reasons why I was like, I can't be part of an organization that promotes this kind of thing. Just, you can, because there comes a point when you approve by association, like if you are too much like, oh yeah, I just like the color scheme of the Nazis, so I'm gonna hang out with the marches. You can't do that. You can't be like picking a little bit of it and then go ignore the rest. Like if you walk the marches, you are part of that group. That was a little bit extreme, but you know, anything can always be likened to Nazis, right? But the point is like, if I keep taking this education and keep going like, well, I'm not agreeing with everything, but if it's so extreme, then at some point you're also accepting it by sort of being in proximity with it and being sort of keep throwing money at it. Then you're sort of saying, here, take my money. And they have a really problematic attitude towards young women. They can choose themselves, of course, but they get a little bit too much coached into this world and too much indoctrinated, and I don't think that's healthy. And everyone's like, they're adults and they can do what they want, but it has a little bit of a flavor of grooming, and I don't like that. And I can't just be part of an organization that has this icky vibe and just go like, well, they are adults. They can, if it feels wrong, you gotta also take the responsibility and say, like, I gotta distance myself from it. So, there were a number of things that were like, I'm not even gonna finish the week. Because there was one of the thoughts was like, I just finished the week. But I was like, you know what? My mind has turned now. My mind has turned to being against this. And then I'm not going to have a good energy. And yeah, I can enjoy some massages. But if I come there with now a bit of maybe a reserved energy, maybe even a negative energy, it's going to affect. And then I might just end up having a bad relations to the people because I come in there with the bad energy. So it's better for me to go like, sorry everyone, I'm gonna resign from this course now. It's a little bit too much, too spiritual for me. I try to see if I could fit in, but I don't think this is the right education for me. That was what I told the rest of the group, and then I gave the feedback to the leader, the cult middle management. Yeah. So that's that's the and thank you, Hohenberg. Thank you for the 12 months. So that's basically like there were too many things that were icky, and then I just had to sort of take the consequence, and the consequence was like more of an abrupt end than I would have wanted. I would have wanted to sort of finish the course, and I'm still going to be like, but they're nice people. Like everyone there is nice people. They're a little bit crazy. Like, I gotta tell you, like, we talked about this idea of sublimation, this like doing yoga after a massage, and then I was like, at the dinner the next day, I was or lunch or whatever, I was talking to 3 of the women, and I was like, do you always do this after lovemaking? Because they don't like calling it sex, so lovemaking. And they're like, yes. Oh, okay, interesting. I don't see how that works, but weird. Then I talked to one of them later on, and she's like, and I was like, do you have like a regular partner? She was like, oh yeah. She has 2 lovers. Like, oh, well, that's interesting. Do they know each other, these 2 lovers? And she was like, it's a little special. Like, oh, do tell. Well, they're aliens from other planets. So I don't technically meet them as much as I open a portal to the astral plane and then we have sex there. What do you say to stuff like that? What do you say? Like, I'm sorry, I think you ran away from the mental institute. I think there's people from Arkham Asylum that's coming here to pick you up. I was so stunned because like, oh, 2 lovers. Ooh, that sounds like a juicy story. Do tell. That was not juicy. That was absurd. This legit insane. Yes, that was also what I thought. Like, if you are in a think you are in a physical relationship with aliens from other planets, and by opening a portal to the astral plane, I think that's part of the diagnosis of some sorts. That and the thing is, like, it's just normal. It's not like everyone was like that, but everyone was totally accepting of it. Everyone was like, oh yeah, that's good for you. Awesome. Wow. I wish I had some alien astral plane lovers. Like, and that's the thing, right? So in a context like that, I was really out of place because I needed you guys to tell the story and get that reaction of like, oh yeah, this is fucked up, right? This is absurd. This is out there. And I was the one who was out there for not standing on my head after doing a tantrum massage and not thinking it was awesome to sit and stare into the blank void in for 20 minutes as a warm up, or for thinking there's something weird about having astral plane lovers. Like, I was the weird one in that context, and it got a little bit much to sort of keep it in, because of course this is their domain. So I'm the one. You don't come into a church and start arguing atheism. You go in. If you go into a church, you accept the rules of the house. And this is also like, I came there, I accepted the rules of the house. I don't have to believe it, but I have to respect it. And that just became really difficult because it was so out there. So, so that's why I was like, there were just so many things like, I'm like, you know what, I have to. If I don't pull the plug, then I'm not really true to myself. Even though I'd paid for the whole thing, and I told myself, don't fall for the sunken cost fallacy. The money is gone. You'll never have it back. The question is, the only question that is, are you going to have a better week here or at home? And I thought, I think I'll actually, if I'm staying here for some nice people and a couple of tantrum massages, then, you know, I can get that a hell of a lot cheaper and easier. I can get that, and then I can also just not having to endure this insanity. So that's yeah. So yep, that's yeah, so that's that's why I that's why I was like, all right, went to the leader and said, I need to have a talk with you. I'm on my way out. I packed my car. I need to have a talk. And he was listening, and he was gracious in the sense that he accepted it, and he heard me, and he was like, yep, I think you've been thinking it through, and I can see that, because I just said, this is not okay for me. But if that's okay, if that's how you want to run it, then you do that, but I can't be part of it, or I don't want to be part of it. And he was like, yep, that's okay. So he had a chance to go like, oh, no, we're not that crazy. But he didn't. He was like, oh, it sounds like you've thought it through, and then I'm not going to try to convince you. Yeah. Was this a place with only new people or some people you knew before? I didn't. It was the second module of a course of 9 modules. So it was. I knew these people from before, from one other week in September, I think, and so I knew what I was getting into, but it had taken, as I said, a few steps up the crazy ladder, and that was the part that made it even more difficult. And there was and like there were so many things. Like the education got worse. Like it was not the main teachers, it was some other teachers, and they weren't as good, and there were just too many things. Like the 2 people I bonded the most with just did not join for this module. So yeah, saving modules of cost not sunk. Absolutely. Thank you, Miraz. That's a good point. So it was, yeah. Did you research and choose? I researched it, and I knew that they were more spiritual than I am. I'm not spiritual particularly. Well, maybe compared to you, I am, but I'm not. I'm generally not a spiritual person. But I knew that, and I knew they were like that, and I was prepared to accept it and just see it as a challenge for myself to be with people who had other beliefs, and just be okay with that, which I can, as long as people are sort of staying in their own lane of like, oh, this is my world and this is what I believe in. That's fine. But if it's like, this is the one truth, shove it down my throat, then I'm gonna be no thanks. So definitely don't drink the Kool-Aid. Yeah, except it wasn't Kool-Aid, but yeah. This spiritual, that's such a fireball. Yeah, and I'm just using spiritual here as a very broad category, which ranges from like horoscopes and cleansing to astral plane journeys. Like all of that is sort of lumped in together for me, and that's totally unfair, but that's just how I see it. Anything that is not scientifically proven with peer-reviewed articles. Yeah. So yeah. Did anyone miss Niels while he was gone a month? A month? Really? I thought it was like 3 days or something. But oh, hello Gareth. Good evening. So yeah. The good news is that I have no more time. And I'll be streaming a little bit more. And I'll probably also have time to make some videos. So we'll take a look at what our options are. There's definitely some interesting things that I want to check out. I think that next week we have what is it? Something that's Captain of Industry coming out on Friday, and I get it on Thursday. And that means we also need to talk a bit about what we want to see this week. If there's any new existing games that we want to take a little bit further look at, there's an option of going back and taking a look at Tectonic and actually unlocking the new portal so we can make a video of it. The Crust is also saying something about, there was a Kickstarter, right? Yeah, the Kickstarter on... I need to sign up for that Kickstarter for the Crust, because I think that's a great game, and I think that would be great. And then I can probably also get like early alpha access. I can probably do that anyway, but I think it'd be nice to support games that are so mature when they do a Kickstarter. So that's I think that's really nice. I'm thinking about going to Peru and doing an ayahuasca retreat for healing purposes. What are your thoughts on that? I don't do drugs, and that's not just because of Twitch thing. I don't do drugs at all. I don't even drink alcohol. So I understand that people have amazing journeys and life lessons, but I also know that of people who have getting debilitating traumas and psychosis from it. So for me, it's just a pretty shitty sort of risk reward schedule. Like, best case, you shit your pants and have a vision. Yeah, could you get that vision somewhere else without shitting your pants and doing drugs? Right. And I don't know why you'd want to go to Peru. Now I don't know where you are. Maybe Peru is right next door, but at least in Copenhagen and area, there's tons of ayahuasca journey things. So I don't think it's necessary. I think there are other ways of achieving the same thing. Maybe a little more work, but also a lot less risk, and both in terms of you have to do something that is most cases illegal, so you choose your risk profile in that regard, but also something that is, since it's illegal, who the fuck knows what they're doing? Like, there's no certification, there's no nothing, there's just this some random dude who mixes a bowl of stuff and calls it ayahuasca, and like, maybe he decided to spike it with something. You don't know. There's no verification, there's no fixed format. It's such a gray area, and I know people who go there and swear by it and think it's life-changing, and yeah, not for me. Definitely not for me. Amon-san, you can just roll back to the VOD and just listen to it. So don't do that. I'm a police officer in Brazil. I have a lot of contact with the guy that did it with only bring bad things for them using. A police officer in Brazil. So you're the guy from all the videos, or girl from all the videos. Because there's always like civilian cop in Brazil, and then insert crazy stuff. It's as much of a meme as Florida Man. Evidence that specific hallucinogens makes you more creative for life. Yeah, Scorch, that's true. And psilocybin and MDMA are, there's a lot of movement towards legalizing it, but there's a big difference between controlled studies and control tests where there's trained psychologists nearby and then random dude mixing a bowl of ayahuasca, and what do you know, right? So it's not the same, but there is hope. And I know someone who took a MDMA treatment. This is illegal in Denmark, but there are still ways to get it, and it costs a fortune, and it's really well controlled, and it's doctors who actually do it, sort of in the illicit market. And there are therapists, and it's like specific doses, specific management, and it's long sessions, and that's for treatment of PTSD. And it works really well, because it is experimental drug in the US, experimental drug in Australia, and EU is too slow, and Denmark will follow EU regulations, so it's definitely coming. But you have to make the choice for yourself. So sorry, videos, man. Game is my escape. I admire a lot what you do in games. Thank you, EMB Pantonite. Thank you. Welcome. We're just doing a little pre-game talk because I've been away for a bit. So, caffeine is not a psychoactive drug for me. Yep. Yes, me too. This is dinner tonight. Unfortunately, I didn't have time for dinner. I was thinking about it, but then I wouldn't have time for the pre-game show here. Let's jump into the game. Thank you for joining me on this random bonus stream. Come on. There we go. And let me see if I can figure out these things. How does this game work? There we go. Jump in. Also studies on LSD treating depression and for longest. Yes. LSD. Yes. True. So I went to some lectures with neuroengineer, neuroengineer explaining how it worked, and he was like, "I'm not a doctor. I can't talk about the medical functions. I'm only going to talk about what it does inside the brain." And it was really fascinating because what MDMA does is that it inhibits the connections to your amygdala, so the primal brain, which means that from a context of PTSD, the issue with PTSD, again, not a doctor, so don't take this as diagnostics. Problem with PTSD is you associate a fear response to something that should not trigger a fear response, because your brain has been hardwired in an unfortunate way, and therefore something that shouldn't trigger and really primal fear triggers a primal fear. The problem with therapy is that every time you start working on that therapy, you trigger the fear and the therapy stops working. So it's really difficult with normal therapy or cognitive therapy or anything else to really get to the core of it, because every time you get near, you trigger an instinctive fear response, and then therapy doesn't work. So what MDMA does, it cuts that connection, which means you can now talk about the thing that you are mortally afraid of, and you can actually apply therapy effectively, and as it dissipates, the effect of the therapy lasts, and those connections will then be weakened, and you can do it again sometimes, and you can see those unfortunate connections will now be weaker and gradually disappear because of the neuroplasticity. That's really amazing. Which is like, when you think about MDMA as a recreational drug, yeah, it makes you have not a care in the world because you don't have fears, you don't have inhibitions, there's nothing that, and that's why it's a great recreational drug, supposedly, because it does that. But it's because it has this effect on neural connections. So, how long has this been running? Since the 14th of 144 hours, but since the 14th of December. With how easy some topics become to talk about with others, you get very insightful and open on MDMA. Exactly, supposedly, because you no longer have any inhibitions or fears or anything like that, because those connections are now suppressed for the duration. So, Test with ketamine for the exact purpose. Also PTSD so far. Yeah, ketamine. Huh. Yeah. I mean, I think it's super interesting to look into these things and follow research. I think that's just a far cry from sort of, oh, there's interesting research to popping pills and recreationally because, and then start, you can do that, but then you do that as a separate thing. But if you do that and sort of refer back to a controlled clinical studies and under very controlled circumstances and go like, yeah, look at that. Not the same. Not the same. So, um, yeah, but yeah, that's but I am very conservative in that regard. So I wonder what this planet does. It's called Depatosis. So let's have a look at our overlay, our planet overlay. There, this one is doing solar sails, 900 solar sails per second. That's great. And we actually, what we want to do here is we want to test if everything is operational and see if something is running out, because now we built solar sails and rockets. And is it working? I don't know. I'm pretty sure there's something that doesn't work because we want it to be stable and pretty full buffers before we get on with the next part. I think that we have an issue with this one, proliferator. So I think we need to look into the proliferators and check that they're working. Good looking planet. It is absolutely a good looking planet. And not supposedly. That was from experience. Yeah, but it's your experience, so I can only say supposedly. So I'll let you have your experience, but that doesn't make it my experience. And I can't use your experience as evidence for anything. I can say that supposedly because I can only suppose it based on your experience. So that's me taking a professional distance. Let's figure out where the proliferation is built. Oh, and by the way, can someone do the planets command in chat so we can see it? That is on... Hey, Samagot, we need to find you. Samagot, where are you? Zoom, 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 zoom. Oh, I marked this one. I don't know why. There. And... that one. And... warp, damn you. Warp. Yeah. Working, or do we just need more production? It says it makes 225 per second. I don't think we're using 225 per second. I mean, we could test it, but just looking at the production graph, but that would be cheating. But I think that it's not producing at the right pace. Speed. And therefore, let's go there, have a look, and figure out that it's missing carbon nanotubes, and go like, oh, of course it's missing carbon nanotubes. It's always carbon nanotubes. Do you have the 10 shell sphere design yet? No, because we don't have the launchers yet, and I need to build the launchers, fill them up before I launch, because it's going to be so awesome, that launch. And let's try and see if we can get that done today, the launch, and then remind me to save before we get there. I have the outer sphere, that's yours, but whoops, I don't have the other spheres, but the other spheres will be just hexagonals, really densely packed, but I want to build one sphere at a time. I want to build the outer one first. Hello, little planet. Let's see what you're up to. But if someone could find a good pattern for mostly hexagons but a few pentagons in a setup, then that would be awesome. Oh yeah, I think I actually... oh, these are fine. They are not a problem. Diamonds are not forever. Diamonds are kind of slow. Whoosh. It actually looks like we can't really keep up on the diamonds. It's not because there's not enough diamonds, it's just that they're not coming in fast enough. There you go. And we are exporting here. Ooh, deuterium fuel is definitely not a problem because it's exporting here. So clearly that's not really an issue. Interesting. I think I had a 1 terabyte sphere, but I think it took too long to build. I'm not, I don't want to be importing kimberlite. I think so. I think I'll just, no, I don't think I will. But this seems fine. Let's see, how much is this? This is on a what cycle? This is on a 2-second cycle, so this is 20. So that's 10 per second times 3. That's 30 per second times the productivity. That is 37.5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 75. That's 225. Okay, so this is 225 per second. I think that's enough. Yeah, it looks like it's enough. Good. So that's not a problem. And what is this beach ball in the background? A star or a Dyson sphere? It's a Dyson sphere. Beach ball. Yep. Or clown vomit. And let's see. So let's go back. Okay, the reason why stuff like this is now identified, and that one as well, is because this has here. I have collected some more locations here. So I just went to these locations and put here, put down some extra, what is it called? Gas collectors. So, do you need a bigger buffer than making the travel distance for the Bluetooth? I don't think so. I don't think that's necessary. It might be necessary to sort of have a little bit buffer on the receiving end, not on the sending end. Huh? Hey, Cameron, thank you for the 35 months. Eating on my coal. I do have a lot of coal, but yes. All right, so what is the next thing we'd want to go? I think it's... That's what I mean. Buffer at the sales price. Ah, right, okay. It's correlated. And marketing, thank you for the 49 months. Ooh, that 1 month there. So what I want to do now is on each of these locations, we have to build the planetary launcher, the fast planetary launcher. And we don't have anything working at Mark de Jonge. So Mark de Jonge is the only planet that doesn't have a purpose. Sorry, you don't have a purpose. But that means if we find a purpose, something we need, then that's where it goes. Whether that's going to be more launchers, that might very well be it. It's hard to know if that's going to be what we want. But you can see this location is pretty busy. This is where all of our resources are now heading towards this location here, the correlated system. Oh, don't worry, you are our free capacity. Buffer station. No, I don't want that. Have to set up the rings for the sales before building the launchers. That's true. That's true. Ooh, that's bad. Ah, damn. How do I do this? I don't want them to launch that yet. Damn, that's a problem. Just a planet full of launchers. That's also my thought, right? That's my thought, getting a planet full of launchers. Oh, this is bad because, okay, let me explain it. If I set up my launchers before I set up the swarm, then when I build the swarm, they're not gonna launch. Sadness. But if I set up my swarm before the launchers, they'll start launching immediately. So the logical normal one would be, okay, well, that's not a problem. I'm just not going to be getting anything Oh, hold on, just figure out where the planet is. Where are you? There you are. Oh, it's just disappeared. So normally I would just disable the launching on that planet, but I can't because there are 6 planets. They all have to launch at the same time. I want to be in a position where I put in the blueprint here, stamp it in, done, and then everything starts working in the meantime. And I don't think it's correct if I have all of them launching solar sails. You can launch rockets without the sails. Yes. Trim the belts for the sails. But how do I get it started then? Right? Because then I have to be simultaneously at 6 different planets to activate it. Otherwise, it'll be one activating, warp to the next one, put the belt in, activate, start shooting. And I'd like to be out in the world and then looking at the star from far away, go into this location, import the blueprint, close this window, seeing all planets, immediately start shooting rockets and start. So when placing a blueprint, don't have any launchers in your inventory. Bring the white hologram until you're ready to start launching. Again, it only works for one planet. How do I make sure that all 6 planets activate at the same time? And if the sails are being built on one planet, you can prevent the export sails. Yes, I can. Except there are also sails built everywhere else in the system. But that would have to be disabled as well. Or at least sort of capped at a distance that wouldn't send it here. The Real Fire Lion, thank you for the 30 months. That's also the only way I can do it, so that this system only gets solar sails from this system. I like that. That's the solution. Oh, that's a very small one. Like that. And the last one. Like this. Yes. They are orthogonal to each other, and they have different starting points. That's what I need. Is it possible to destroy all the dark fog space stations so that they start coming never completely back? I think so, but I don't know. There might be some contingencies that says like, oh, if there are none in the entire sector, they just sort of spawn in one. But generally what happens is that they will be sending from existing. You can see that there are 3 en route to this location coming from other star systems. So you'd have to go to every single one, remove all of them, and remove all the seeds that are en route, and then it wouldn't propagate. But I don't know if it then under that circumstances just spawns something in by itself. So we don't know if there's an edge case handling from their perspective. Okay, so that makes sense, except now I need to go first to the locations that actually make solar sails. Solar sails, that is on Gyna Cube. Anywhere else? Yeah. Okay, so on Gyna Cube, in the Vitro system, and on Thornfist in the Baba Joe system. Okay. Well, that means 2 of those places have to be identified. It's a little bit of a back and forth here. So, on Gyna Cube. Off we go. Warp space it is. I forgot to thank the patrons last warp spacing, so we'll be warping again. Oh, I forgot to activate science. Let's activate science again. Maybe something like faster warp speed. We seem to need it. Mega warp speed. And then let's get some stuff like... Yeah, if we don't know what else, then do that. RS latch. I don't know how RS... Yeah, shape before I do it, yes. I should do it, and then before I stamp down the first blueprint, I should save it. I should stamp it down to confirm that it works, and then we'll see. So, for your purposes, to deactivate the orbits, the launchers launch to until... Can you deactivate orbits? Can you deactivate orbits? Because if that works, then that works. I need to see that. No, I don't see how I could deactivate it. Don't know how that works. That would work. Oh, in status enabled? Yeah, it says enabled, but it's not clickable, so I don't know how I would change it to disabled. And there's nothing here to signify it. If you don't have orbits set up, the launchers can go down blank, which is a massive pain. Yeah, exactly. They will go down blank, exactly. Maybe you can have a full belt of rockets going in a loop, and then the rockets start shooting. There will be space in the belt for some fuel, and the fuel can go in power, and power go... No, that's that. No. I wouldn't need to do something as complicated as that. I think this is the right solution. I think we're exporting it from up here. That one. So this one is now... From here, I need to figure out what the distance from here to correlated is. Luckily, it's far away. So that's 18 light years. So that means we need to set a limit for this. Oh. Here. To this one, saying you can maximum go to 15 light years away. And this one as well, 15. There. It will unfortunately also affect this, but I can pull these in if the requester can get that range. I want you to change the sails to storage in the system first before building the launchers. Set the... Change the sails to storage in the system. Yeah. No. Maybe. Yes. I need to... Yes. I also need to do that. Yes. You're right. They need to be able to be set to not export, which will then be the trigger for exporting, which means I have to be there. But that is now set up here on that one. And then we have to go to Baba. There. And then there should be one called Thornfist here. Let's go. Come on, give us that faster warp speed. But if you stamp them down blank, you may be able to go back and stamp down the new blueprint on top of that with the Dyson share builder. But then I'd still have to go to all 6 planets and stamp down the blueprint separately on each planet. That means going there, landing, stamping on blueprint, going to the next stamp down blueprint, and so on and so forth. So it doesn't change the fact that I can't launch it all from one location, which is exactly what I want. So. Oh, hives are back here. No? Nope. That one. And then I forgot to check what is the distance from this one to correlate it. Oh, it's even more, right? It's 27. That makes it easier. So don't go 27 light years away. Let's go 25. Nope, I guess not. But do charge faster, because this is embarrassing. That one. 24. Charge faster. 24. 24. Infinite, fine. And nothing. Good. So there's that. Why don't you stamp down all the sites for launching, let them fill up, and then paste the blueprint to cause them all to launch at the same time? Because I have to land on each planet separately. So I land on planet number 1, stamp it down, the correct one, then it starts firing, then I lift off, I warp, I land on the next planet, I stamp it down, then that one starts launching. That means it's going to be displaced by a couple of minutes. And what I want to do is sit in one place and just see like all of them activate at once. That's why. It won't fire without a blueprint. Are you talking about a blueprint here? Yes, that is correct. And that's... I was about to just click delete. But that's also... I don't know how many times I have to explain it. The rockets is easily solved. Because the rockets will not launch unless there's something here. So I just don't stamp anything in here. Easy. The solar sails is harder. Because if I... Again, the same principle. If there's nothing in here, they won't launch. But the thing is, when I stamp a blueprint in here, I have to take every single launcher, every single solar sail cannon, and specify if they're going to ring 2, 3, or 4. That's already part of the blueprint. So either I have the swarms, and then they'll start shooting as soon as I stamp down the blueprints, or I will not have the swarms set up, and then I stamp down the blueprint, and then they won't be launching even when I add it, because they don't know what swarm they're going to be attached to. And adding the swarms afterwards doesn't update them. Then I could build them, I could then add the swarms, and then I could go back and stamp down the blueprint on top to sort of instill it. That's fine, but I have 6 planets, so I need to do that on 6 different planets, and then it's not simultaneously anyway. So that's the reason why I can't do that. I don't think there is a positive way you can do that with solar sails. But that's the thing. I think there is, if we just make sure that the only place that I'm producing solar, the only place that is producing solar sails, and is in this sector, is not exporting. Of course, the problem is that by the time I activate it, it will not launch immediately, because each of them will have to first get some solar sails, and that's the problem here. But it's one activation, and then I can fly into space and just look, and then a little bit later from there I can see that things are coming in, instead of me spending the first 20 minutes just going from planet to planet while it's starting the launch. The reason why I'm doing this is because I intend this to be a time-lapse video like the solar sail one, the black hole one. And if I want to make the best start, that best start is activating all at once, not activating one, jumping over to the other planet, activating one, and then by the time I've activated all 6 planets, I look up and then something has already happened. I want to make sure that we have the best view for the start, because the start is the most important thing. Chat has the solution for exactly what you want. Prevent export to start. Place all 6 blend blueprints, copy the swarm blueprint, and save it. Then delete the swarms. Go back and allow the export to saturate that, and paste the swarms and blueprint back in. Does that work? Let's try that. Let's test it first. Place all 6 blueprints, copy the swarm blueprint, and save it. Copy the swarm and go back and allow the... Place all 6 blueprints. So, first we prevent it, then we place blueprints, including the sphere, the swarms, so that whenever I stamp it down, they will be attached to a sphere. Then copy the blueprint. I'll copy the blueprint for the swarm, yeah. Save it. Delete the swarms. And then the idea is that the launchers will already have, or will remember that they're assigned to 2, even though 2 doesn't exist anymore. But when 2 gets created again, it'll be like, oh yeah, there you are, and then continue. It should retain the orbit. Yeah, that's. I think the operative word here is should, which is fine. I don't mind that assumption. I just want to test it. See, this one is not working, right? We're not using one. I don't even know where it is. Oh, it's the teeny tiny one in here. That's fine. Let's see. Good. So that exists, but no one is shooting there. So if I assign you to 1, and let me just set up something here. Yep. You're pointing. So now this one is assigned to number 1. And if I take this as a blueprint, I'm just trying it, and then I'm confirming with whether I'm doing it right. Then I W Tiger, thank you for the 16 months. I would also need to sort of copy the swarm blueprint, yes? But then delete this one. I can't delete number 1. Ah, really? Oh, I can. Should I save before I do something stupid? Or should I just do stupid stuff and then not save? Let's do that. You can delete number 1. It looks like, yeah. No, you can just cancel. Okay, so we'll make a. There. No. Good. So that's number 5. So you're assigned to number 5. And then I go here. And then I copy all of that. And I delete you. This one doesn't know, but let's see if we... It doesn't remember. Hey, Silver Cecil, thank you for the 200 bits. Doesn't work. Oh, shoot. It was nice. Nice attempt. Oh, that was a long time from I saw it in chat to it actually being announced. Thank you, Silver Caesar, for the 200 bits. Well, the operative word was it should work, but it didn't. So we're back to the plan that we already have. But we learned an important lesson. Don't trust chat. Having to paste the launcher blueprint ruins the point. Should we research to unlock? Yeah. But anyway, I'm going to take a short break and then I'll be back in 2 minutes. Then we'll figure out how to solve this problem. Be back in a bit. Quantum mechanics is the answer. It is the answer. Because, as the Talos is saying, then maybe our act of actually observing it changes the state, which is core principle of quantum mechanics. You cannot observe something without changing it. That's not Heisenberg's uncertainty principle, is it? But what is that called? It's something like the observer principle thing. What's it called? Some of you must know quantum mechanics. Schrodinger's cat. No. It's the same principle. Yeah. Yeah. Heisenberg's uncertainty principle is that you can't know the location and velocity at the same time. But there's another thing where, like, you, as soon as you observe something, then you interact with it. Light observed travels in a different way than unobserved light. Yeah. And that principle is called something. Like, as soon as we start measuring, then it sort of collapses into either a photon or a wave function. Depends on how we do observations. Which is just annoying. I can't remember. No, neither can I, but I was hoping that someone could remember, or someone could sort of Google their way to it and sound smart in chat. So let's try it one more time and see if the sort of observer syndrome here, symptom is a thing. So we'll go in here. We'll take you out. I'll paste it, and that should get pointing to number 5. Now we're going to delete number 5. We're not going to look at it, but it already knows. It's already reverted. Yeah, okay. The observer effect. Yeah, okay. It has already changed the state without me looking at it. So it knows. It knows it's being cheated. And then if we paste that one back, so unfortunately, no. But hey, it was totally worth doing to figure out. There goes that idea. Yeah, but ideas are great. I mean, isn't the observation, but the act of observation already interact with the particles, photons, thereby altering its state. Yeah. So I didn't say it, yeah. Should be Heisenberg, but AP physics has been 21 years ago. Yeah, maybe that, maybe things have changed since then. Uncertainty principle is the more accurate one property is measured, the less accurate the other property can be known. Yeah. But that seems like it's something different. Like, that seems like it is like, yeah. It seems like it's a different thing. Because that tells something about the location versus the speed of a waveform. Which makes sense. As you zoom in closer to find the location of the waveform, then you get less information about where it's actually, how the actual waveform looks, I suppose. But that seems different from sort of the double slit experiment, which sort of only works if it's waveforms. I don't know. I think it's also been 21 years for me since I've had physics at any serious level. Yeah, the observer effect, yes. And Schrödinger's cat is an instance of it. Yeah. Yeah, the fact that you interact with it forces it to collapse into one of the states. But as long as you're not observing it, it is in the superposition of the states. I can sound almost smart here. And that's I hate Big Bang Theory with a passion. But that is the one redeeming. There's so much junk with it. Because, oh my god, the Big Bang Theory was awful. Like, the first season was good because it was so nerdy that only real nerds really got it. But then it just became another Friends or Seinfeld or just a sitcom about nothing. And then it just was racist, misogynist.
Illustrious champion returns.
Yeah, it was a lot of ists that are really bad when you look at it, and the laugh track and all that stuff. But the one redeeming quality is the episode Schrödinger's cat because that is the best dating advice ever. Like, okay, what's dating advice? Schrödinger's cat. What? Well, if you don't ask her out, then you're in a superposition of dating and not dating. But only by actually asking, as in observing the effect, it'll collapse into one of the states. Either you are dating or you're not dating. So, currently in a superposition of both dating and not dating until you actually make a decision. And I just love that. It's really good advice. Hello, you. Thank you for the tier 3 for 32 months. So, I love that show. I did not love it. I love the first episode, the first season, where it was really deep and you sort of had to go like, oh, that's a Star Trek reference. Oh, that's a Star Wars reference. That's a D&D reference. That's a World of Warcraft reference. And then you had to keep up. And most people wouldn't get all the references. And it would be, oh, that's a physics reference. And that's then that was fun. But then it just became a nothing show. So, there are dozens of it on YouTube explaining why most nerds have a problem with it. Flanderized characters. What the hell is flanderized? Is that referring to Ned Flanders from Simpsons? And what does that mean? It was I think Big Bang Theory was like the last one with laugh tracks. Most nerds have a problem with a lot of stuff. True. Character becomes as shallow a stereotype. Yeah, as shallow stereotype. Yes. And that was exactly what they were like. And when you think about it, like, holy shit, they just were leaning in like, oh, there's the Indian stereotype, and there's the Jewish stereotype. Like, wow. And there's the dumb blonde stereotype. Like, whoa, they are just not holding back. Good. Everything is fine. We've done what we needed to. We can now go to correlated. We are wiser, but not relieved. Yeah, so I did not like that. Not enough warpers. Oh no! true. If only we had like millions of warpers that would just go into our inventory there. There was dumb jokes about smart people. Restaurant was smart jokes about dumb people. Yeah. I thought it was like I liked. Okay, I think the reason why I liked it and then I stopped liking it, aside from sort of the annoying laugh tracks and stuff like that, was that the first season or first seasons maybe felt like it was nerds making fun about nerds. It was an inside joke. So it was like, yeah, we can make fun of ourselves, but then it became from the outside looking in, not clever, not deep, but just like making fun of nerds for their nerdy stereotype, which was not done in an endearing way that we can sort of like, yeah, that's true, but more like, well, fuck you. And that was the when the butt of the joke was the nerd being nerdy, and not sort of that cute awkwardness of something. And I think sort of a thing like the Schrodinger's cat, like Schrodinger's cat as a dating advice is good nerdy humor. Like you can see the stupidity of it, and you can see the cuteness of it, and you can laugh because it's only a nerd would get it. And yeah, but stuff like the later seasons where it became like, oh right, stereotypes, then of course you don't like it because it seems like someone looking in and judging and making fun of us. And yeah, sure, we've been made fun of. Yeah, the punchline was because he's a nerd. Exactly. Yeah, just and the jokes became not clever. They became just, yeah, oh, he's a nerd. Ha ha ha. This is the one that makes exactly what we want. Nope. Nope. Nope, not at all. Damn. Which one makes the solar sails? Ah, that was next one. Okay, so we need to go to that first because we have to go to here. The one that makes solar sails has to be disabled first. Top Park WoW episode was a great example of jokes around the nerd topic. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, I think that's really the core of the problem with that. What TV show? Big Bang Theory. Depends on whether collapse of the wave function is what we are looking for. That's called the measurement problem. Okay, these ones are not just full, but they are very full. So this has to be... Oh no! This is also going to prevent us from actually making more. Making more carry rockets. Because they need these for the carry rockets. This is unfortunate because it's not just one that has to be changed, it's all of them. And it's a lot. Which again makes it very much not instant. But it'll be more instant. Are you using cross-docking in the series? No. Do you think it's valuable? In the very extreme cases it might be. But I don't think it's... It was mainly just to do it as a proof of concept. So now we need to go to the one that requests carrier rockets, or makes carrier rockets, that is Bartek. There you are. It's a great example of my problem with comedy show. Most seem to run out of things to say and interesting. I don't know if they've run out of it, but I think the obligation to make 20-something episodes per season means that it's going to be a little thin. And there will still be some brilliant notes on interesting things. I mean, maybe it is exactly what you're saying. But there isn't enough sort of comedy to go around to fill up season 45 or whatever number they reached by now. So, or this still works because it's still on remote demand. Good. And this one is not building up. Look at this. This is not ready. Not ready at all. But that is kind of still because there's a Cybercraft, I think. Are you not done? Yes, Cybercraft is done. Okay. Cube? Is Cube done? Cube is done. Ooh, they're both done. All of them are done. So now there is no one requesting any of this. At the beginning, there's a lot. By the end, they're screaming the bottom barrel. You know what? I think for stuff like Simpsons, Family Guy, whatever, these shows that run for many seasons, wouldn't it be awesome if they actually age the characters? I know it's probably a lot more work, and then they're sort of missing out, but they become stale because there's only so many jokes you can do about that age, and if they never age, then you're not going to see progression. But if they age, and then would be like, ooh, now it's time for, I don't know, Bart to get a job, or Lisa's going to college, or, then you would get some of the storytelling done by itself. But I guess when they started Simpsons, they were not expecting 40 seasons of it, or whatever it is, or 20 years of it. It must be more, right? Because, how do you know how old Simpson is? Because Homer Simpson is a unskilled worker who works a pretty ordinary job as a control specialist at a nuclear power plant. Sure, it's probably it's a professional job, but it's not doesn't have a college education, probably. And he has a really nice house, 2 cars. Yeah, he can certainly afford the American dream, and Marge is not working. So think about that today. Single income family living in a nice suburban home with a house and kids and can go on vacations. That doesn't seem like that's happening these days. You'd need a hell of a lot more to afford that kind of American dream. But at that point, it was not part of the joke that he was living above his means. It was just, 35 seasons, 35 years. Don't you need a college education for this kind of job? I don't know. I don't think so. Being a nuclear safety inspector at least 35 years ago? I don't know. I wouldn't imagine it, because at the end of it, you don't need to understand the nuclear fission process. You need to be able to check. Is this lamp on? Yes. Are you following the rules? Yes. Like, whether it's a nuclear power plant or it's a normal power plant, I don't honestly think that you need a doctorate in nuclear physics to be running this part, right? But then I'm just thinking, right? Single income, not college educated, living in a nice suburban home. Our ex-Navy guys, they get that training there. Yeah, I don't think Homer is ex-Navy, but you never know. Degree required, associate degree. Whatever that means. Never thought it'd be that low. Okay. But anyway, the point was that it is certainly not something that you could expect in expect to live like that on an income like that in 2024. All right, why is this not good? Because this is definitely a problem if I'm not launching fast enough here. Go back to the Brady ones. They were quite well off on a single professional income, huge house and live-in maid. Yeah. What are we gonna do about this? Like, they are working, they're producing, but they're not really good enough. Well, anyway, that's gonna be another headache. A headache for another day, which unfortunately that day is not far away. Let's I think we're actually ready to stamp this down. So let's, whoops. We will request this and this and this. I have that. I have 30 of those, so I just need 100. But hey, let's get 200 and 300 if we can. Let's get another 100 here, because then we have for the next planet as well. Sure. There, there, and there. Okay. Time to pave the world. Yay, surprise stream. Hello, Anonymous. Yeah. Why the hell wasn't it mining? It should have been mining. It was 57,000 still. Weird. Just slowly. Let's get that one out as well. I think it's easier to not miss anywhere if you just take one sector at a time, or one, I don't know, fault line area at a time. Titanium means off you go. Poof. And then comes the last sphere here. And that one needs to go. So, let's see. Doctor? I would like some ideas, some thoughts, some suggestions on what we should be doing in terms of content for this week. Because I wasn't planning to do anything, but now that I'm here, then I didn't really have plans. And I do have a lot of sort of tentative plans, or things that are like, oh, maybe at some point. Like, for example, it would be fun to try out the new version of Against the Storm. I liked Against the Storm. It wasn't super popular, but I enjoyed it a lot. And by not super popular, I mean woefully unpopular, but you know, it is what it is. And I could play more Tectonica to sort of unlock the new stuff and make a video about it. We could, I don't know, the Crust is not available for any kind of demos. The Captain of Industry comes out in a week. And then, I don't know what else there is. Steam. Interesting. No command like that. Oh, there we go, Steam. There's no point to storing Steam to conserve nuclear fuel if you have Covarex. Math time. Without modules, one Covarex centrifuge is enough to fuel 39 reactors non-stop, 3.4 uranium per second. With full beacons, that jumps up to 440. There we go. Was that the one you were looking for? Because now you know. Cooking stream. Yeah. How many hours I had on DSP? Okay, well, that's not a Steam command. That is not a command at all. But 1,307.8 hours is the number as of right now. Hit time. No, not that either. I should have done the math. Yes, I know. I know. Should have done the math. That's the part, right? How much I'll be able to watch. But at least I'd be most interested in Tectonica. But do you have any, Mirage, do you have any other options? Because I was just saying these are the things that are top of mind for me, but not necessarily the bestest option. If there's some other game that has come out recently, then I probably have missed it. Deep Rock. I'm not going to play. If there's a game that's been out for several years and I haven't played it, then I'm not going to play it now. So that's pretty simple. Let's see. So what is our risk here? Our risk is that we accidentally launch something in here. But let's see. Okay. And there we go. Dyson launcher, fast Dyson launcher. But there's one thing that must be fixed there. That one is first, just I need to see, because this one should have a limit of, I don't know, that's just like 10 or something. Because you're only allowed to request solar cells from inside the system, and nothing is provided inside the system. That's important. Adam, thank you for the Prime. Welcome. A volume update is coming sometime before summer, so they say. Do they say that? Oh, do they say that? Let me just check on Steam. Because that's really nice if it comes out before summer, because otherwise it's going to conflict with... No, it doesn't. I don't see anything. And thank you, Kashmir, for the 200 bits. Yeah. I mentioned Teratech Worlds before. I'm not sure something you'd like. It's a bit like Cosmosphere meets Lego Technics. Okay, don't think so, because the Ashlands update is officially set to hit Valheim. Okay, where do you see that officially? Because I would expect that to be Google says. Okay, well, I have not seen it in any of their updates. They're just sort of chugging along, but we should also expect an update soon, because they usually release an update around the 20th of the month, 20-something, 21st of February, 24th of January, and so on. So about 20-something. So sometime this week, I would expect that they will come out with a release of whatever, the monthly release. From Gamerant last year. Yeah. Late last year. Yeah. Frostpunk 2 is launched in July. Yes, absolutely. But it's not really July right now. We're more looking at stuff to play the rest of this week. But, you know, oops, this is a mistake as well. There. Everything is good. Except that one. Oh, this is good because it's actually not getting... Yeah, good. Alright. And we want to see that this is actually getting stuff in. Oh, this is funny. Oh, no.
Our illustrious champion
Huh.
returns.
That's the exception. You also have to go here. And Dimlag, thank you for the 24 months. Oh, it's now 3 events. So if we're gonna get a hype train today, then right now is probably it. Just saying that that's probably gonna be now. Or not. Probably not, then. And Silver Cecil with the 200 bits. You must be at the top of the leaderboard with those 200 bits here, 200 bits there. Because it's not the busiest of months. So those 200 bits here and there, they're adding up. And thank you, Rodimus. How hard would you say it is to get the achievement for Dark Fog? So I don't know what the achievement for Dark Fog is. Ixion, I played a ton of Ixion. And done guides and talked to developers. Did sponsored stream even? I think I did a sponsored stream for it. And sponsored the video as well. So I would actually say that Ixion is a game that I was the content creator, created content for it back then it launched. There were some who made one video and that's it, but for anyone who had a Let's Play, my Let's Play was the one that had the most views, as far as I recall. There might be some other ones who've done something recently. So I think definitely... Top update for today. The devs are playing around with bigger balancing changes than expecting in 1.0 Satisfactory. Also, maybe new vid this Friday. Ah, right. Satisfactory. Yeah. Well, Satisfactory 1.0 is going to be launching on top of Factorio, because of course it will, right? Temple Rising is not factory building, but RTS. I'm not into RTSs. They're too stressful. I'm too bad at them. All right, so we got a little bit of a train going here, a little bit. There, you're a fast DS launcher. Let's get you out here. Go Swimmer. Just since you're playing StarCraft now and then. Yeah, but StarCraft has a special place in my heart. But I do appreciate it. It's always good to mention it. Me the Victoria release nukes my schedule for at least a month. Other games need not apply. Yes, but is all I can say. Ah, this is a beautiful planet. Swimmer, you're gorgeous. Yep. That's an awful lot of those. Porcupine. Yeah. Right, 2 minutes on this train. We gonna get it off the ground or not? Oh, the disaster! No! Oh, the horror. Right, I'm gonna fix that afterwards. They wouldn't dare. The players overlap too much. Yeah, but who wouldn't dare? Like, I wonder if there's a bit of a Mexican stand between Factorio and Satisfactory, where they're going to be like, whoever announces first. Thank you, Masters. That is Satate. That's the little bit of help. All right, final chance on the train. 7 subs to get it off the ground. Hey Mark, thank you for the 5 gift subs. Thank you. You might become a useful planet one day. So now it's just 2 subs to get us off the ground with this train. Although, yeah. One little bit station. And thank you, Kashmir, for the 1,000 bits. Much appreciated. Oh. I need to also do something to get people to resubscribe. Because there's a lot of people who subscribed and are regular subscribers who have stopped subscribing. And I don't know how to get them back to subscribing. I mean, I can't just whip up a new Factorio release or Satisfactory release. Some of us miss D&D Fridays. True. I understand that. The problem with D&D Fridays are manifold. First of all, I'm not particularly happy about the state of Darkest Dungeon 2. I find that it has... I say impossibility, but it's not really. But the difficulty of recovering from a random mistake makes it unplayable for me. Things can be running smoothly, but you can just be unlucky. No matter how you play the odds and all that stuff, you can just be unlucky because, you know, it's a Darkest Dungeon moment. And if that happens, you might as well just give up, which I don't like. I don't like that there's... Because things are so difficult, things are balancing on a knife's edge, that if you lose a character, you're not going to make it to the next end. And if you do, you're in such a shitty state that it's already... The run has already crumbled, you just don't know it yet. And because of that, it's... That ruins the fun. If there's practically no way to recover from a random freak accident, then it's not a good game. Like, it's that simple for me. I played Darkest Dungeon 1, I can't, because the graphics of Darkest Dungeon, the story, the setting, all of that stuff in Darkest Dungeon 2, so good. But I don't like the way that you can't recover. And it's not a difficulty thing. It is a difficulty thing, but it's not a difficulty thing in terms of sort of the overall difficulty. That's perfectly fine. And sometimes freak accidents happens, but it shouldn't be like I'm playing for 2 hours and then I'm just unlucky. Sequence of events, something crits, has a dot, next turn, it's that character's turn, he feels his death blow, he's dead. I go like, holy shit, how did that happen? How could I prevent it? I couldn't, because he can crit, he can apply a dot. I can't avoid this every time. I can play the odds and get a taunt up, but, you know, there's still some turn sequencing and random crits and stuff like that. So, oops, done. 1 character dead. Can I continue with 3 characters? No, I cannot. Okay, well, might as well just forget about it. And then just ruined an entire run just because of something that is okay to happen because it's Darkest Dungeon, but it's not okay that you can't recover from it. So yeah. It's fine for me to know that you play the odds, and sometimes you're unlucky, and you get a setback, and then you've done some things to sort of cover your bases so you can recover, or something like that, or you have some buffer so you can, like, those kind of things. If you can do that, you can hedge your bets, you can pay insurance, that kind of thing. All right, well, at least we got one station out with this train, but 60 seconds left, 15 subs to level 2, but we did get 1 station. Well, that's Not quite there. Ah. There, 10 raw. Just limiting. Oh, okay. And because that was one of the problems with i5 for Darkest Dungeon, that's the game technical thing. The other problem is that it's not a popular game. It's that simple. Just people are not engaging with it. Thank you, Master Tadate. Which is better, steam or diesel trained? What? For what? Electric. And that was the train. Thank you for the low one. Thank you, Master Satate and Mark de Jonge. That's a little annoying to look at. Yeah, so it's not very popular. And then I guess that, Kashmir, if you're also saying the Darkest Fridays, then you're also kind of implying the conversations from Darkest Friday. I know. I think I've gotten enough of a beating by my moderators that I got the point. That will not be a thing anymore. I had a large comment above with game suggestions. Oh, sorry. Yeah, let me just jump up. Thank you, Samagot. It somehow I see it now. It's right there. I mentioned Oddsparks before, and you didn't like it, but I'll try again. It's an automation game, but not technically a factory game. It has a weird fantasy theme. I watched some YouTube videos, and it has a slow start before actual automation, but there's some interesting concept that I imagine will lead to interesting designs, like right-hand side rule for path belts. It is said the demo has 3-4 hours of gameplay, so perfect for one stream. Is it out now, or is it only a demo available? I don't need Steam to design automated workshops for your odd and adorable sparks to carry and craft everything, including more of themselves. Lead your squad of sparks into combat, explore a strange fantasy world in a single or online co-op, unearth the ancient mystery of the sparks.
Welcome.
Oh, shut up. Why can I not just have it
Box
muted?
gathered.
Oh, every time you scrub during the on Steam, you reactivate the sound. That's awful.
Connected path.
Now just turn the volume to 0. You are really insisting, aren't you? You're really insisting on keeping the voice on, even though I don't want it. Oh yeah, 24th of April. Okay, well, if it's a demo, then it might be a good idea. Because I was just thinking, like, if it's something that came out a month ago and it's a small game, then anyone who is interested in it would probably already have watched it. So, but if it's not out yet, then it might be worth taking a look at and sort of gauging interest to see if, hey, should we play this some more? Oh, what the hell are those doing here? Hello. Hey Swimmer, you are a beautiful planet. Look at that. Look how beautiful you are. If we are recommending games to play, there is a new addition to Dune Spice Wars. If you want to go back. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's a great idea. I was think I looked at it and go like, ooh, I want to go back to that. Because I think that the one thing I was missing in the beginning was a campaign mode, and now they have a campaign mode. So you know, Maybe we should check that out. I did really like the Doom Spice Wars, and it's also kind of in theme. So I wasn't talking about the DDF, not a bit. Okay. And the last problem with Darkest Dungeon Fridays is the fact that I am rarely available on Fridays. I'm kind of tied up on Fridays. Usually. Oh, I don't like that they are shipping this much in. This one wants to, but no, I don't want that. Have you watched the new June yet? Yeah, no, I have not. I have not. Okay, I think I need to list which planets I've actually done a launcher for. That was DS launcher. And now that was for Swimmer. Yes, launcher. And let's go to the next one. That's probably Tegavaro. We're gonna skip Mark. Oh, we're gonna skip Mark. That's so rude. After he gift subs and all. That's because we have bigger plans. Or you're tying someone else. I'm tying someone else up. Oh, we missed the planet. Oops. Making U-turns in hyperspace. There. But it's just Fridays are always going out days. So it's rare that I have the opportunity to stream on those days. Oh, that's the wrong way. Oh, we still forgot this one. We only have ourselves to blame if DDF was not popular. I don't know what you mean by that. Have ourselves to blame? As in, I mean, you can only watch for one person's worth. So, if you're watching, then you did what you could. But it just takes a little more than a couple of people. But you know, if I was passionate about it, I would do it anyway. But it's like there's the game is not really great. Neither to stream or to play, and the Fridays are not really available, so there's just too many reasons why that's not really working out. Unfortunately. I do need to test out a few new games here and there. Now comes the problem, and that is we have to kill some of our sulfur production, and that's kind of precious. Alternative, we stamp it down and just accept the stuff that can't be built, and then sort of build around it. I don't sort of like that. I think we'll just count on our production speed to catch up and cover the basics on what we need here. It's actually only this one, right? Yeah, it's only this one, so go away. Poof. I'd also like to play Elden Ring before the Elden Ring comes out. The Shadow of the Earth Tree comes out. For the people who watch the Sekiro playthrough, I think I started out not playing particularly well, but towards the end, I was playing pretty damn well. Like one-shotting the Demon of Hatred, and I don't know, 4 or 5 tries on Ishin Sword Saint. And it was not like random lucky things. It was super nice and controlled, which it usually is when you finally make it. Oops. I think that if I could stream whatever games, if I didn't have to think about popularity, and I didn't have to think about my own skill cap, which is big ifs, then I would love to do Souls games, like challenge runs, like no hits and that kind of thing. I love it. Like not speed runs, but no hit runs. I think they're amazing. I think because they're so technical and they're so interesting. Do you also think ONI is dead? I don't see anyone playing it much anymore, but there's still small additions released. They're going to be changing now to a DLC approach. So when the next DLC comes, I'm going to revisit it, but not until then. But don't tell them, because I'm going to try to persuade them to sponsor a stream or something. They're not going to, but I'm still going to try. Belts, but everything else is fine. Ah. And 10. Yep. Souls Game Fridays. I'm still not streaming Fridays, so it could be Fortnite Fridays for all I care. But since I'm not streaming Fridays, like that there are no Darkest Fridays anymore. The reason I didn't like the game, so I wasn't watching it, and so it was missing on the spicy conversations. Now without DD, it's happening all over the place, so I can't send. Yeah, unfortunately, that's not really gonna happen anymore. I got a severe reprimand. So, and for good reason. So, you can do the... There. I tried some challenge runs in the first Shadow of Mordor, but the Nemesis didn't handle it very well. Oh, I don't know anything about that game, so I couldn't say. How many tries did it take for Millennia? Shut up. Shut up. Oh, Victor made actually a video of it. It was so ridiculous. It was every failed attempt, and then it started with one failed attempt, and then there was just the longest attempt, and then it just added another attempt, split the screen into another attempt, into another, and then just replicated until the whole screen was there, and it was all timed so that the screen split when such that I died in all of the attempts at the same time. It was really well done. It was, but it was also too embarrassing for me to do anything with it. So, and also the frustration. If it was without the voiceover, then it might have been fine. But the voiceover kind of ruined it for me to release it. But it was a nice idea. Yeah, Millennia took a few tries, and Millennia is a annoying boss. Have you heard of Sunship? Yes, I have heard of it. I looked at the launch trailer thing and I went like, ooh, mobile game, fuck it. It plays like a mobile game, and therefore it's not interesting. and I don't mean transactions, but it like the small size, the sort of the bite size, the easy thing. It's things that are built and designed for mobile just don't work very well for PC gaming. So I think that if I wanted a mobile game, that would probably be a mobile game I find interesting or find fun, maybe. I don't know. But I don't want a mobile game, and I don't want a mobile game for streaming. That one again. Okay, so that is another planet. That was Tekevaru, is now added to our list. Yes, launcher. Right. What the total white cube upload is in the save? Don't know. How can I see that? Is that on the save game? Oh, we need to save. We need to save anyway. How do I see that? Do I see rockets incoming? Yes, that's intended. Rockets are supposed to be incoming because I don't have a sphere, so it's not gonna launch. In science? Okay. Total universe matrix. 2.1 million. There we go. Dyson sphere. And the only one that's interesting is mining speed, and ore loss is down to 12%. I'd like to get to 10% soon. Let's do a save. And then return. Then we're going to be firing up this soon. Alright. Looking good. Let's see. I don't need any more of this, but I need some of the other ones. So let's request that while we are on break. That means here. Let's get 300 because we're going to need 300 between the two next planets. There we go. And and then I also need, should I say like 200 of this? Yeah, fine. Go. Alright, oops, and a short break, and then we'll be back in 2 minutes. See you in a bit. And welcome back. Thank you for joining tonight. We're going to do something tomorrow. Don't know what, but we're going to do something. Maybe taking a look at the Oddsparks demo, or what was the other? Or a return to Dune Spice Wars. That might be nice. That was 10 seconds before end of break. Okay, well, I'm sorry about that. Hope you can forgive me for my punctuality or lack thereof. And Mindustry, heard of it? Yes. No. Yes, I've heard of it. No, I'm not gonna play it. Doesn't really. Okay, that was Swimmer and Barthak and the say? Oh, what's it? Oh, Barthak is undone. Let's go to Barthak system. And it's true, there are actually 3 launchers left, but one of them is Mark, and I don't know if Mark is going to do something else. I don't know. We'll see. And let's see, there was also that little thing. Oh, you can't do that.
Devotee.
That was like way too fast. And thank you, new patron. While we're in hyperspace, it's time to thank the patrons. So, oops. Thank you very much. New patron, welcome. Don't forget to fix the sorter. True. That is exceedingly far away. Jump again. Oh, it's gone. Did you grab the launchers and raiders here? No, I did not. I did not do that. Oh, man. I did not. What did you think of Final Factory? Oh, that's not really worth warming. Final Factory, I couldn't get it. I did not get. I wanted to like it, but I didn't understand it. And then I spent some more time, and then I finally think I got it. And then I love the fact that it's different. The irony is, and I talked to the developer about it because I want to play it for the release. So I'm going to get it also for release. And I also already have a lot of keys already for it. So I'm going to give away some keys when we start playing it. And I was saying that, oh, I really need a tutorial for it. Oh, wait, that's my job. So it requires you to think, to think in a different way. And that needs to be taught, which is kind of my job, isn't it? And that star is still called S-Hat in my world, so that's weird. And let's see. Let's go to... Let's actually fix this damn thing. Oh, is it on Vathak? Really? There. Get them out there. Silly me. Well, the good news is then let's finish up the Bathik one. Huh. So we have Tegavar, we have Swimmer, we have Bathik. Do we have the short sight there? I don't think so. We'll just jump to the next one. And we are going to launch the rocket before the end of the stream. Do the launch. It might be undone later on because I want to do, but I want to sort of end with us launching it because that's what we've been doing today, is sort of working on the launch. So just promising you that we are going to make sure that we launch it before the end of the stream. Good. Any of you read the book called Thinking Fast and Slow? And by this question, I basically mean only really reply if you have, because otherwise it becomes a little bit of no. Master Montag, there's one. Good book. Better than good. It is completely changed my perspective on how to think and what thinking actually is. I guess we have too much junk here. Well, whatever. The reason why I'm asking is because I want to do non-gaming content, just for the hell of it, because I think I have time to do that between sort of the games to come out, and then it'll be sort of nice to sort of start up as a side project of just doing stuff. And I did, that infamous video that is now removed, or not removed, but just moved, but no one knows where. But I want to do another video before I sort of say, hey, look, there's other content, but it's hidden away. And one of the things I was thinking about was, instead of sort of going down the same path as the other video, then thinking about something that was impactful for me and therefore might also be inspiring for someone else. And I was thinking about making a video about the two systems of thoughts, because that for me has been, life-changing, I would say. And therefore, hey, if I could do a little teaser, explainer, a primer, then maybe you'll get inspired to read the, 500-page book, or at least just get a sense of, yeah, that's pretty cool. I want to think about it like that. Okay. So. I'm currently reading it. Oh, Mike, you mentioned it and explained the concept before. Yes. And that's also why I'm thinking it would be a good idea to have it as a non-gaming, non-sexology video, because it's something that's near and dear to my heart. And then come up with like real life examples from my life that would be sort of, so to make it a little more personal, of like, okay, how do I see this, or even draw parallels to gaming, just for sort of for reference sake. Why you decided to remove the end? Because it didn't fit. There were good reasons. I think I went through it. The main one is that that anyone who is interested in gaming should and likes my way of building factories should be able to come to my channel and not have something else thrown in their face involuntarily. That's the essential part of it. And I could see that that argument, that I looked at it too narrowly, and from my own perspective of if it's okay with me, why is it not okay with everyone else? But I was thinking it from an adult perspective, and not from maybe not everyone is adult, or maybe you are adult and maybe you don't want to sort of mix those things together, and now I'm sort of forcing you to accept that, which is kind of against my principles. Like, I hate people shoving things down my throat, and yeah, you could just not watch the video, but if it's still there, then it means that it's no longer sort of friendly for everyone, and so move it somewhere else and then not get any views on it. But it is what it is. I did see the point. Yeah, I still think it's a shame, and I still wanted to do it, but I can definitely see I am not sorry that I made the decision to try it, because I could have anticipated some kind of reaction, but it was not necessarily stronger than I anticipated, but it was more closer to my heart. And there were some really good arguments that made me sort of see the argument from a different perspective. And I didn't see that perspective, even though I should have. So the fact that I threw it out there triggered someone enough that they said the honest truth to me. That was what I needed to hear. So in the end, yes, a mistake and a costly mistake. But from a sort of branding and sort of, yeah, just running my business perspective. But I wish there was room for it, and I wish there was a space for it, and I can only hope that there will be a space for it, but it's not going to be the same space. So. So, yeah. The virtue of my YouTube suggestion could take a touch of diversity. Quiet was yelling in the distance. Yeah, that the YouTube algorithm recommended seems a little bit too aggressive in my opinion. I find a new YouTube channel and go like, oh, this is fun. Let me watch a couple of videos, and then suddenly, boom, I get nothing but this. I'm like, okay, that was a little bit much. Like, just because I just found a new YouTube channel, a new concept, then damn. But I don't mind content creators. I don't mind. I just don't like it when they use one type of content as a vehicle to force the other in unrelated. Yes, I agree. And that's not my intention, but I can definitely see it being received that way, and that's a really good point. And that's why I respect that point, and that's why it's a big part of the reason why it's gone now, for that exact reason. So I watched one Helldiver video now as Man's Democracy. Yeah. I like when it recommends a bunch of videos that I'm not interested in because I fell asleep with YouTube running and it autoplayed with it. Oh, right. Well, that's weird. Yeah, so I discovered a new concept in terms... I was watching Elden Ring. So I watched Elden Ring no-hit runs because I found it fascinating. Or I was like watching Elden Ring all bosses because I was like, how many bosses? 165? That's a lot of bosses. Let me just see a no-hit of all 165 bosses, which is pretty damn ridiculous, right? Doing 165 bosses in one game without being hit a single time. That's mind-boggling. Of course, once you get past the first 30, 40, you see the pattern. And the pattern is buff, 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 ranged attack, ranged attack, ranged attack, dead. There you go. Next boss. But there's still a lot of risk involved. So, and I was like, wow. And the guy who was doing it was like, this guy's good. Like, I'm going to see what else. And I found a new concept in Elden Ring called bingo brawlers, where speedrunners are competing, and they basically are head to head, and they get a bingo plate of 5x5 with random challenges in the game. And so what they need to do is they need to get either 5 in a row, or 5 in a column, or 5 on a diagonal. And whoever gets this first wins the game. But if you get one challenge, the other person cannot get the challenge too. So it could be like get your flask up to level +7, or kill Radahn without summons, or restore the Great Rune of Godric. And then they look at it and they have, okay, then look at it and go like, okay, that one I can do, and then, okay, and so if I do this, and that means you force the speedrunners to not execute their script. So the best ones are the ones who have an all-round knowledge of the game, because they can look at it and go like, okay, I can do this dragon, and then I can loop over there, and then I can do this skip, and then I can do this, and then combine it, which means you see the speedrunners being pressured outside of their comfort zone and see their raw talent. Because sometimes when you see speedrunners and no-hit runners, then it's not because it doesn't feel impressive, but it's like, yeah, okay, but it's not really the same game we're playing. it's a different game. Like you're, I don't know, standing on a ledge and you can barely hit that boss from range and he can't retaliate, and then you kill him. And go like, that's not how we play the game. Like you're playing a different game than me, and you're succeeding in a challenge within the rules. But it's not like, holy shit, you just dodged all his attacks. Wow, that's impressive. It's like, oh, you found a way that you can abuse the boss, or you found a way that you can trigger the boss to only do one attack, and therefore that's easily counterable, or something like that. Which is not a glitch, but it's like that's not sort of, this boss doesn't feel the same way that I play it. Like for example, Melania, you have a club with a special uh, what's it called, Ash of War. So you do like a leaping jump attack, and that does ridiculous amount of stagger. So you can stagger her, get in the counter, do the flip again, counter, do the flip again, counter, and then proceed and go like, you didn't really counter all the cool moves for Melania, so. But it's still impressive, but it's not as impressive as someone who just dodges everything and counters. Like so. Anyway, with this bingo brawler, you force the speedrunners to think on their feet and play strategically, and it's so fun to watch. Love that. So. And the theory, I did some sexual education video. Very personal, very straight to the point, and didn't fit. Bushy's Elden Ring content. Bushy? I don't know. Seeing in the challenge, they find a way to avoid it. Yeah. And this, the bingo brawlers, was really just, you saw the raw talent of people. Then it goes like, okay, one of the challenges, no hit this boss. I'm like, okay, I can do that, but can I do it under these conditions? I deal slightly less damage, and I'm used to being able to know that I do one R1 and one charged R2, and then it will stack up. But now my weapon is not the same range, so then they have to adapt. So I thought that was really fun. But now all my YouTube content is Elden Ring speedruns and challenge runs and tier lists and all that stuff. What are we doing again? That one is ready. Good. So let's mark it on our list. And then there's only one left, and that is Mingsley. Sorry. No, theory, it's not like that. It's completely legitimate concern. I completely understand and respect, and am embarrassed by the fact that I didn't think of it. So it's not, oh, it's just Karen's explaining. It was people I very much respect that voiced their concern, and I was like, fuck. Not only do you have a point that I should have seen, but I didn't. That's embarrassing. So. Gotta be able to change your mind, and gotta be able to acknowledge your mistakes. And then correct them. Learn from them. And make new mistakes. Don't make the same mistakes. Be innovative. Make new mistakes. Very mature. Thank you. I am mature. I noticed I got a haircut on Friday, and now almost all my hair is gray. So yeah, there is that. So I guess one perk of of that is you apparently can learn from mistakes. I don't know if it's directly tied together, but I think there is definitely a correlation. I would hope. Oh, it was the water. It wasn't the sulfur that was the problem. It was the water that was the problem. I can't believe water is a problem, but it is. Yeah. People lost their mouths, yeah. We don't do that here. I make new mistakes all the time. I just do it while making old mistakes. Oh, well. Yeah, can at least be innovative in your ways of making mistakes and try to come up with new ones. I'm 25 and losing here. Yeah, that's there's nothing you can do about it. Well, unless you're Elon Musk, of course, then somehow there is something you can do about it. Weird that he was going bald at 25 and now he's full head of hair. So just do whatever he did. Hopefully you can get a cool beard. Because maybe, well, yeah, 25 should. Because I think that's generally for men now. Men's fashion is not really my thing, but you know, if you see someone bald with a big beard, then I think it looks really good. Looks better, for me at least. And I'm clearly in the target group for men to impress. I don't know where I'm going with this. Probably nowhere. But the point being, like, that would be my option. Including here. Become a billionaire and get awake. I mean, if you do one, then the other one is really optional. Because, yeah. Ugh, I don't like this. I don't like that I'm killing all my water. But I'm just hoping. Here's to hoping. Okay, and that is the next one. Ah, I'm missing 150 of that. Okay, so did that just not happen? Okay, 100 coming in, good. And where's our... See? It's a little bit low, isn't it? Let's make it to 100. Okay. I guess we have to wait until that one gets here. Oh! Okay. Oh, I wonder if I remember this on all of them. Well, I can see that if I... Oh, yeah, I have, apparently. No mistakes yet. Let's see, did I miss something? The best way to go bald is to have a beard. Yes, that was kind of what I was trying to say. And yes, that's not a... That is an opinion and not a fact. But it's my opinion, which around here makes it a little more valuable than, I don't know, anywhere else. But that's just one of those genetic things. So currently 99 are missing. cool anyway. When I become old, I want to be a wizard. You're a wizard, Harry. I'm a computer scientist. Tech wizard is something I strive for. When I become old. And then judging by the fact that you are 25 now, then things like when I become old mean like when you're 30 or something. I know how young people think. I had a conversation here during lunch today when one of the teachers was like, "Oh man, with slang nowadays, he just didn't have a clue, and he had to ask his son for something." I was like, "Oh, what did you ask him about?" Like, OP, what OP mean? I was like, "Oh, that one I got. That one I got." But and then there was a young woman who was like, "Oh, she didn't know what OP meant." I was like, "Yes." And then I had to explain her, and then I was like, "Okay, but if that's OP, then you need to nerf it." And she was like, "Oh, what does that mean?" Like, yes, I can. I still got some, and they are not dated. At least I don't think nerfed is a dated expression. Did you just say 30 was old? No, I say that 25-year-olds think that 30 is old. You do not know. But most 25-year-olds, and it's funny when you, in this community I'm in, then this age matters a lot less. And then you just, because you meet over other factors and you start talking about things, and then someone sort of accidentally comes with an ageist comment like, "Oh yeah, there are a lot of old people." Like, you mean 30 plus? Oops, like, thank you. Old people, 30 plus. Zergling, thank you for the 21 months. That's another one. When you see a US Army general refer to Russian tactics as zerging, then it's like, holy shit, we've gotten somewhere when army generals are calling military tactics zerging. Then, yeah, okay, they have zerg tactics. Okay. That's just, it's great when it comes from our world into the real world. And then there's like, I still don't understand what no cap means. I've looked it up several times and I go like, okay, but now I don't remember. Some of you 25-year-olds, explain to me this Zennial, not boomer. Thank you very much, not boomer. Yes. All right, we got everything. Woohoo! All right. I think we'll just we'll grace Mark de Jonge with a launcher as well. There. That had to happen on the description of Riz. I like when I was like, Riz? What the hell is that? It was like charisma. I know what that is. Ooh. I have to, if there are any Dungeons and Dragon nerds in here, or, well, anything, I sort of in the rounding off on the conversation we started with. That one. But I'll come back to that in a little bit. No cap, for real, I swear. Yeah. Or in Denmark, when you hear it's Wallah, which in Arabic or Turkish, Arabic means I swear. And you hear Danes say it because it comes from like the immigrant culture, and it has sort of moved into Danish culture. Danish youth, and go like, that's really, really weird to say. Not common, but it's weird. But yeah, no cap. When some of my coworkers started using the term drip. Drip is clothing, right? Is it? I'm glad Dank went out of style around here. Drives me nuts. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, drip is fashion. Yeah, fashion. It's yeah. I think it could be more than just clothing. It could also be accessories. It's part of your presence. Yeah, clothing and accessories. I mean, here we're a couple. We're just a bunch of blind people discussing what color things are. It's great, isn't it? Yeah. What else do we got? What was the other thing I wanted to request? There was something. There. Still need more of this. And you're not coming in soon, but oh, you are. Nice. You're sitting here in underwear and white shirts. I don't even wear underwear. You can only see the top, so why would I? Why would I? No drip. Yep. No drip. So anyway, while we're waiting for these things here to build, then I wanted to tell a fun story. It was fun because I could barely stop laughing, or I barely restrained myself from laughing. But it was just because I needed someone to share it with, so I'm going to share it with you. I thought it was fun. Anyway, maybe I did a little bit too much setup. Anyway, at this Tantra course, there were some helpers. And one of the things that they were in charge of helping with was sort of setting up the rooms for the next, whether it was a lecture or it was massage, so either mattresses or chairs, so sort of shuffling things around between different things. And another thing that they needed to do was sort of the little temple that was, it's like a little altar. They had to make sure that that was also ready, which meant that they had to consecrate it. And again, for the people who weren't here in the beginning, consecration in this context means that it's a blessing. And so there were these 3 young helpers. I was sitting there talking to 2 of them, and then the third one came over, and she was like, "Have you consecrated the candles?" And then one of us like, yeah, I consecrated the candles. First one was, "But have you consecrated the candles and the workshop?" The other one said, I consecrated the candles. The candles are now consecrated. Yeah, but what about the workshop? The workshop is being consecrated when we start the workshop. Yeah, but what about the candles for the workshop? But the candles are consecrated, so they stay consecrated. Yes, but for how long do they stay consecrated? You need to specify the duration of your consecration when you consecrate them. So if you did not specify how long they were consecrated, what activities the consecration included, then it's going to be redone. It's like, no. I didn't specify the duration. It is a permanent. It's just consecrated. Now it's consecrated until the lights go out, and we have to put new lights in, and then we'll consecrate those. But what about the workshop? That still hasn't been consecrated. No, but the workshop will be consecrated when everyone's here. But the candles on the altar, they are done. They're permanent until they go out. But then we will consecrate the scope of the next workshop when we start the workshop. But the candles are good. Are you sure? Yeah, it's good. All right. I'll trust you on that one. Yeah, holy ground. It's consecration is a blessing. It is to make something sacred. And I was sitting there, ooh, I was like, just look in your fucking spell book. It's 1 hour per level. What is your level? Multiply it. There you go. That's the duration. Nope, that's not how it works. I was just needing someone with D&D experience because that would like, oh my god, you are so overdoing it. Like, are you literally having to consecrate the candles? Can you consecrate multiple, or do you do it one by one, or like, oh, this is just not my world. And that was the kind of point that the discussions were at such an esoteric level that how can you how can I participate in a discussion of something like that? Because I got nothing to offer. I got, except laughing, and that's not gonna help because this is deadly serious. You need to make sure that the right things are consecrated at the right time and all that stuff. So, oh, I can't do it. I can't do this one here. Yeah, but the conversation of what was consecrated, how much, for how long, whether it was only the candles or also the event that the candles were being part of, it was something else. It was a little drop in the it was another straw on the camel's back. That's the metaphor I'm looking for. I was like, okay, just one little straw on the camel's back. It's not the final one, but it's certainly adding to the insanity. Over consecration. Hello, Mr. Mini. I feel like you're talking about some of my coworkers. They're focusing on the wrong things. Exactly. It's for me. It was exactly that. It was like, I don't care. I don't care. You can consecrate the candles, but having a serious and sort of passionate discussion about it, and sort of go like, okay, all right, then I think it's good enough. Like, okay, can we just chill a little bit here? But yeah. So in that kind of context, it's just a little bit, and then it's also, for me at least, it's really difficult to go back to a conversation and sort of be serious about whatever we were talking about, because I'm kind of like, I lose a little bit of, no, not lose a little bit of respect, but it's just kind of like, your opinions carry a little less weight with me because you have such weird things that you just don't see eye to eye on these things. So now, this is a little weird, and people can be weird, but it also just means less sort of overlap. You deleted the water. Yes, I did. One of these has that one. Yep. Okay, let's see if we got it. No. Oh no, everything is off. Okay. And but I think it's very interesting, this kind of like this kind of world where it's sort of it's encapsulating itself. Where if you're inside this world, that becomes the reality, and that becomes really important. And I know, oh, whoa, that's, oh, because it's coming from here. Oh, that's kind of sucks. I don't want that. Ah, guess I have to endure. And we can do that as well in our little world about, I don't know, planetary sectors, city blocks, but it's still a game, and it's still not like, we know in this context it's, why? Because you never know when you need a ton of spaceships, and I can't put them in here, so they're gonna be here because I'm gonna need them at some point. Go and lick the candles. No. See, this is the thing, right? I'm in their domain, so I have to be curious and shut up for the rest of the time, because it's not. I accepted to go into their world, So I should not be sort of coming in there and challenging their beliefs. That's extremely impolite. And they're allowed to have their. They don't need my. They don't need or deserve my ridicule. I can find it funny and silly and stuff like that. But I have enough respect for them to not throw it in their face. But I mean, of course, they're also like, I left in the middle of the course, so of course they're going to be talking about, yeah, he didn't really fit in. Yeah, he was weird. Did you know that he was a YouTuber? He was a gamer? No, I didn't know that. Like, oh man, yeah, he doesn't belong in the tantric world. Yeah, he doesn't. He didn't get the importance of consecration. And yeah, you heard that he was, like, you know, that's how it goes, and that's fine. And majority will, but I also know that some of them, when I was saying goodbye, there were like all the, oh no, I'm sorry to see you go, and then there were the, don't go, and you know which ones you will reach out to in later on, right? It takes quite a lot of space. Yes, but we're in space, and space is something we have in abundance. And I guess I'm gonna use it somehow. I just saw it. All of these were in an interstellar logistics station, and no one was picking them up. So I thought, you know what? I'm gonna be the one who picks up all of these beautiful spaceships and take them for a spin. So we're just gonna need this one to go out. Oh, actually no. We can run around and just get everything else done. Decorate. Oh yeah, that's the stuff that's coming in. Literally one is what I need. Seriously? This one. I guess we'll take that out. Oof. This work sounds like it was being run by author and different builders. I don't know who they are, but it was a little bit of culture. I also noticed something actually when I said goodbye and gave my feedback to the cult middle manager, and I said that I also know that not everyone has paid the same price for this, and that's totally fine. And but I know that the young women are not paying the full price because obviously they don't have a job and they're just they can't throw $2,500 for a 1 week course. There's just no way. At least they others, but yeah. So and he was like, oh yeah, we offer some stipends or some scholarships for some if we think that they have potential to become employed. And then I was like, oh, fine, of course. But then I thought about it, like, isn't that exactly what Scientology does? Like, you can come on these courses for free. You just have to work it off later on, and then you end up sort of being buried in debt to. So even if you want it out, you still owe the stuff that, right? That you still owe your hours paid, and then if the hours you pay for is through stuff like tantra massage, then it's a little worse, I think, because there's a lot of intimacy involved. And I was like, oh, just the fact that you said it that way just made it feel even more icky to me. There, everything is done now. I'm just gonna mark it here. DS Launcher. Hi. First time ever that it was not caps locked. Huh. Sounds like grooming or the start. Yeah, it sounds like grooming. That's exactly my point. It does have grooming vibes to it, and me no like. Oh, that. There we go. So I think it's time for us to go to Laboratory, then that one. Yeah. So we're gonna go to this location. Oh. Oh, right. We don't have. We're missing one. There you go. Then we're taking a save. Oh, whoa. Don't read chat while warping. Found it. My brother and I just saw the Broadway musical they made from Beetlejuice. Interesting. Okay, so at this point, what is the one thing we need to do, as I understand it, is to I want to set this to local demand as well. No, not until all of these are set. Okay. So now we do before launch before Dyson sphere blueprint. No. DS blueprints. Okay. There you go. So now the sequence of events is that I need to find the link. I have Stuffers, and there's that one. Go to site. Copy to clipboard. Ooh. Does that include... Oh. 16 solar sail orbits. That's not what we want. How do I only get... Oh. Oh, no. Show all planetary systems. So I need to set up to this one. And then paste it here. Then I only copy this shell. Select the layers. Copy that. And then I make it into a notepad. Where's the notepad? Notepad. This one. Dyson sphere. And that'll be... Get a date on things first. And then let's go... Sphere. Good. May I ask a question about the hub design, or do I need to be part of it? You can definitely always ask a question. Okay, so this doesn't need to be here. And then I can't paste it because there's no layer. Oh, but it doesn't... Okay, so I paste it now on this layer. And as I do that, this orbit swarm will not be changed, but this part will be, and then it starts launching immediately. Yeah, it's superimposed on that level. Then let's go out and see if things are launching. Huh. 15. Oh, something is happening. Something is absolutely happening. Not good things, for sure. Ah, the sluggishness. And then we have to... Oh, this gets a little bit difficult, to say the least. So that's 3. 4, 5. And then I need to get the other one as well, which is... Yeah. This is the problem, that I have to do this. Yeah, and then up at this location. Yep, they are all launching. I'll do that one as well. Now I need to go out in space. Kind of dumb, but basing it needs to be from the equator. Oh, I can't remember that, to be honest. I mean, not exactly. Oh, look at these loops. They're so cute. Oh my god, this looks so amazing. Look at them. They're weird. They're coming out as smoke circles. Nice. And then obviously if we were sort of recording videos, then oops, and also that one would be taken out, because we just want to look at this. Yeah, can you totally defeat? Supposedly yes, but we don't know what happens if you do. I don't know if that blocks it. I don't see a lot of solar sails being shot at it, right? Why do we not see? Oh, there we go. There's some blue lines there. Now everything is unfortunately a little bit blue. And if we look in here, no, there, then we can see where things are. Okay, they're not building quick. So this one is, what are we looking for here? That one. 889,000 structure points. That's and I don't even know. Maybe some 32 million. Yeah, 32 million. Recon, you should start with sales first and then rockets, as sales will have some lead time. I think you're right. I think you're right. And I also need to kill the swamp. The farm. We need to destroy the farm for sure, because yes, for several reasons, because right now we are not seeing the swarm because everything gets absorbed, but it won't continue to be absorbed. I can't imagine that everything we send in will keep being absorbed. Like transporting, constructed, but here attaching. Yeah. I also think you have split, yeah. New sphere. What? Oh, that's new sphere. Yeah, so blackjack, about the distance, I don't honestly know. I would say that I could say like, oh, 3 squares, but take a look at my video. or if you have access to save games, but take a look in one of my videos and just kind of gauge and go like, okay, that distance. Because I'm not around right now, so I can't find it, show it to you, and I can't remember it exactly. So if I was saying something, it would be just a random number. There's a lot of things going on here, but definitely we should start out by probably actually making the spheres for the swarms first, so that we have a nice swarm, and then we see the next come in. The assembler goes 4 squares from the gate. I think that might be correct, but I'm also like, if someone is asking and then starts building it based on, I think it might be, that's a little unfair, I think. Wonder what these are transporting. They're yellow. They are. That's crazy launch. Isn't there a statistics for Dyson sphere? Solar sales, structure points, 302 per minute. Actually, a lot more per minute. And solar sales, not much per minute, actually. And sell points, none. This one is increasing for sure, but that's like random crap, I guess. Optimization for squares that are done. Yeah, how was that? Is that under performance or is it under this here? Optimize. And actually, before we do that, let's go on a performance test. Filling belts and launchers. Yes, you're right. You're right. Okay, so 664. It's only the RAM that gets optimized, isn't it? So no solar cells will be actually removed. The vacant space will be available in your PC memory. Okay. Like the last ones are expiring now. This one's still absorbing, so this one just needs as much as it can. This one just needs as much as it can because it's a long time until these ones are done. This also a long time until this is done. Halfway. And back to correlated. It's hard to see where those points that are actually going in here. Like, there's definitely a lot of busy stuff here. I think that, okay, for a video like this, I am going to make a... Okay, let me explain what I think the script for the video would be, and then you can throw some yeses and no. I was thinking no voice, just music, and then some text on screen while showing, and then basically just showing me arriving to a new system, killing some dark fog bases, killing a little bit of hives, maybe like the screenshot of just like killing the final hive cluster, the hive cluster, so that you sort of, they're clear now. Landing on planets, stamping down that solar sail, my global blueprint, the polar hub, just sort of giving a sense of, okay, now we're civilizing them. Then miners just fly over the most busy location for miners just to show like, oh, look at that, now we're building all the miners. Then show the stamp down of the smelting blueprint and stamp down on some other blueprints, just so they kind of get the sense of different planets and what is going on, and then lead into launch. But the problem with that is that you'd have to get like 2 minutes into the video, or in a 10-15 minute video, before you actually see this thing, and then you get to see this. So how do I, like, if I tell the story chronologically, it doesn't start in the most most interesting way. Clicking on private that yielded nothing for a search of Twitch on the last. I don't know. So that's kind of the downside is that I don't start with the most exciting stuff. I start with the story and then it leads up and you should be interested in sort of seeing it. But we could, oh, we're starting to see some points here. Yeah. But I want this, but I'll just like do cuts of this. Split screen. You're really pushing my split screen doesn't. I would, okay. I think I would prefer, instead of a split screen, I think I would prefer having, starting with something and then like a 10-second, look how cool this is. And then let's see how we got here. Something. Whether we look at it at the end or in the middle or wherever it's most exciting to look at. I don't know. Yeah, have the time lapse in the background. The problem is that I'm not going to have a time lapse because the time lapse is going to be me recording for 25 hours. It's a little much to sort of sit and record and then end up like, how do I cut 25 hours down to 10 minutes? I can't really. So it's going to have to be like short sequences at high speed. And then it's going to end up being like a zoom in here, a flyby there, a zoom out from there, you know, those kind of things. Like stuff like for example, here, and then you just set it up to fly straight towards the sun at maximum speed. And then you set it up to record, and then it'll gradually sort of come closer, and then you maybe replay it at 16 times speed. Then it'll look pretty good coming closer. Like this. This looks boring, but at 16 speed, then you kind of start looking at patterns and you start not seeing anything, and then sort of patterns emerge, such as the swarm or the little points where they're collecting, and you can see that they're converging towards a number of points. Yeah, I understand. The clips are all the buildings you mentioned. Then I would have to do all the time-lapse clips as sort of like this, because I need to make sure that, for example, in this area here is then open for an insert. Because when I look at this, I find it interesting. Of course, you kind of want to know where it ends, or you can look at the thumbnail and see where it ends. But when I look at stuff like this, I start sort of, ooh, look at that. I wonder if that one connects to that one, or I wonder when they can start seeing solar cells, or you know, stories emerge out of nothing. Like you're like, okay, I can see 1, 2, 3, 4 stars in intersections in a line, and I can see something else somewhere else. Like, I wonder what that's actually going to be. And then it emerges, right? And this is only one of the solar swarms here. So, but now we can see that we're actually, just by flying here, we are getting so close that some of the swarm is now going out of the focus. And then might be like, I'll gradually direct it towards one of those points, so that the zoom ends by getting really close to one of those points. Play the whole video in reverse. Start with the finished sphere and end with killing the hives. Do you mean like not reverse, but in like Memento style, where you start with the end, but everything is like forward, jump back, forward, jump back, forward, jump back, like that? Or do you mean like literally reverse, as in the planets suck them out of the Dyson sphere? And then me shooting at hives at planetary bases to make them appear. that works as crazy idea. Yeah. I need to see the new dark floor cluster. Yeah. But then the problem is that, and I've seen that as well, is that these small things, they are extremely jarring when sped up by 16%. So you can see now that we are actually getting pretty close. And we're also feeling a little more gravity from the star. So we're not actually hitting this one. I think we need to overshoot a little bit. But the stuff out here is starting to become interesting. Although we didn't miss it and then have to fly through it. But it's definitely, let's try to just go to we're not recording that anyway. Trying to hit one of these points and let's see what it looks like. I have ever seen that start simultaneously at the beginning and end and then works its way to the middle. That's true. There are not that many movies that work like this, but let me not recommend another one. Irreversible. French movie. Awful, fantastic movie. That also starts with the end. And then it does exactly like Memento. No, it doesn't exactly like Memento. It does. Memento sort of have. Oops, we got an achievement. Faster than light. Reach the sailing speed of 3,000 meters. Oh, and another warp. Nice. Alright, so Memento is starting in the middle, and one of them is the black and white is gone continuously, and then the other one is like, but Irreversible is starting at the end, and then you see the last scene, and then you see the scene before that, and the end of the scene is the start of the one you saw before. Awful movie. Fantastic movie. Would highly recommend not watching it. I don't know. Definitely don't watch it on a date. So it's the shit out of that time as you just described. Thank you. We definitely want to end the zoom at, like, if we did a zoom in, then we definitely want to end it at one of these checkpoints here. That way we can see both rockets coming in and also the solar sail starting to be absorbed. And if we're lucky, also see it. See actually some solar cells being merged. Oh, look at that. These two squares that we're approaching are actually merging. Yeah, they just merged. Nice. That's a little thing. And they're working towards the last star here in that triangle. This is nice. Like, this is a little story that is being told. A suggestion, you might want to reduce the mouse sensitivity to minimum for recording. Otherwise, the camera view adjustment. Exactly, it'll be very jarring. Yes. You're right. And still be very careful. But I have my mouse sensitivity is at 3200 DPI. It's just how I roll. No FPS mouse sensitivity here. I don't feel I'm getting as close as I'd like to, but we're just gonna see this in action. And we can also just we can see that these 3 points are merging together. This is nice. This is something worthwhile exploring. Yeah, this is why I wanted to show it to you here, even though we're going to be redoing and I'm going to load the save and do a lot of things before that. But I like advice such as low sensitivity, like crazy brainstorm ideas are awesome. The picture-in-picture, I haven't even thought of that, but I was thinking more continuous. Another jar of beer. I'd want to go out here so we can see on the inside. We're also just not really getting as fast, as close as I'd like. Like, it doesn't seem like we're really getting closer. Some voiceover, and not just text on screen. Yeah, I understand that, but I think it's going to be a much different experience. The voiceover would be more like a normal video, while the other one, the would be like, oh, this is different. This is the time-lapse video. There's just music playing loudly, and then the story is being told like in highlights, like clearing the planets, something like this, or arriving in a new system, clearing the planets, like only like highlights, or setting up mining, or these planets are ours, or, you know, like just one-liners. Let's just see, are we slow? Yeah, we're slow, that's why. We're not even catching up. We slow down a lot. Ah, that's fine. We're just never getting there. Only if it was the voice of Morgan Freeman. Yeah, can't really compete there. And then it gets really close, because now we're just way too fast when we're close to a structure here. And then you want to zoom to be like this, and then end. And then it'll be sort of cut further away a bit later, where things are merging in. Let's just have a look at how far it got here. I love that the lines are also colored. 13 gigawatts already, and we're absorbing. Let's have a look at this one. Woohoo! We already got 18,000. It's going pretty damn quick. I wonder if we can keep up. We should be able to keep up if the production keeps up, but yeah, you know. Anyway, this is where we wrap up. Tomorrow I'll be playing something else, and I also expect Thursday. I don't expect to stream Friday and Saturday. I think I'm streaming either Friday or Saturday, but not both. And then of course Sunday. So this will be a high quantity surprise week. So thank you all for joining. Hope to see you in another stream. I'm going to try to get some content out for YouTube as well. Might take a little bit of time, because this one isn't really something you do in one afternoon, but I want to get started on what it looks like. So thank you all for joining for the surprise stream, and I will see you guys maybe tomorrow. Good night.